But why don't you ask the counselor? But why don't you ask?
Good day, viewer. Welcome to our first episode of Questions Singles Ask. I am your host for today, and my name is Angel Fejura. My co-host here is Adesle Rodide, and by my left hand side we have Mr. Counselor, the person of Mr. Sazua Adesusu. Mr. Counselor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very fine, thank you so much.
Okay,
So good to be
we have
around
a lot of
here.
questions to ask you.
Okay, that's the reason why I'm here. No problem. Let's roll.
So the first question for today goes like this. When a young person, either a male or female, begins to nurture or conceive the thoughts of dating, how come their parents are the last to know about it most times?
Most times, their parents are always the last.
Always last. Either
Yes.
it's their friend or someone outside, but not their parents. Their parents are always last to know about it. Why?
Basically, I think one of the reasons is because there is no relationship. You see, so I always advise parents to build relationship with the children, because if you don't have relationship with your children, they are not going to be free to talk with you. They're not going to be free to interact with you and tell you things that bothers them. You know, because relationship is one of the keys to intimacy. And so when there is a disconnect in friendship, there is a disconnect in relationship, and you see that children are not going to be very, very, especially young people, teenagers and singles especially.
Sorry
they're
to
not
cut you short,
okay.
But do you also think that fear is one of the reasons why most teenagers don't tell their parents?
Yes, it's the same thing I'm talking about. Because when you don't have this close relationship, do you understand? Because most times where maybe a parent sees the child with somebody shouting, "Who is that?" Oh, he sees the girl with a guy. "Who is that?" You know, they don't want to know that there should be a balance, having male friends, having female friends. So they just shout. Do you understand? So there should be a relationship. When there is no relationship between the young people, the teens, you know, the singles with their parents, most times it causes all kinds of things. And you see that when they're even thinking about that emotions, you know, they're now beginning to think about somebody having a deeper feeling for that person. You know, they don't get guidance from their parents. They feel, you know, the best person to talk to will be either an external uncle or auntie. So relationship is the main issue. So for you to get your children to be able to open up to you, you have to build that relationship with them from when they're young. And that's it. Relationship is the key.
Okay, so why are singles always scared or uncomfortable discussing sex issues with their parents most times?
It still boils down to that relationship thing. Many of them have not developed that relationship. They're not close to your parents. Because most times our parents are not just there for the children. And you see, children are learning all kinds of things from outside. You understand? So one of the things I really want to tell parents is you should be able to build relationship with your children. And so you see that people don't talk about sex. Where many people get to learn about sex is on the television. And so that's why you see that most times our young people, especially our singles, they're having all kinds of twisted ideas about what sex is all about. You understand? So I feel that our parents should be the ones to initiate the sex discussions. So if your children are going to learn about sex, they should learn it from you. What it is, how they could protect themselves, what they need to know. They should not get it from the television. You should be the first person that should initiate such discussions. And so when your children see that you are willing as a parent to talk about all these things, then they will be open with questions. Because many of them, when they go outside, they hear a lot of things from their friends. They go to school, they hear all kinds of things. And sometimes they really want to get clarifications. And so when the parents are in the position to initiate such discussions, you will see that children or young people become free when they want to ask questions about it in sex. They will now be able to talk to their parents about it and ask their parents questions that they are not very clear about. So you should be able to initiate discussions where your children will be bold enough to talk to you about this.
At what age would you advise a single to start having sex?
Basically, once the single is willing to be a mother or father. If you're not ready to be a mother or father, then there's no need. So what I mean is
most of them, they do it for pleasure.
definitely, and that's risky because it goes with all kinds of things. We have all kinds of complications. You could get pregnant, you could contact sexually transmitted diseases, and a lot of things. You could now begin to get yourself involved with taking pills, and before you know what's happening, it's damaging the vital organs in your body, and it just goes on and on and on. Sex is not just supposed to be for sex sake. You understand? It's something that God designed for procreation. So just wait till you get married, and you can now begin to explore your bodies as much as you want.
Okay. Then talking about dating.
Yes.
At what point is dating ideal for singles?
Okay, that one is also a very wonderful question. I would like to ask that question, answer that question like this. Most times, a lot of young people I see these days, they just want to date for dating sake. And so one of the questions I love to ask singles who are asking me, when do I date? Is it this? Is it that? It's not about the time. The first question I like to ask them, are you willing to take the responsibility of being a father or a mother now? You cannot just tell me, when would be the right time when you are just maybe 15? Are you ready to be a mother? And so most times, I always talk about this dating thing. If you want to really get into this dating thing, you should be matured enough to be able to take the responsibility of being a mother. So if you know that in a year, 2 years time, you are not ready to be a mother or father, then I don't think it's right for you to date. And so if you are going to be getting married in a year time, you know you're matured enough to get married in 2 years time, then you should begin to ask me questions on that. Yes.
Okay.
Is kissing advisable for teenagers?
Now, why would you want to be kissing? Have you ever kissed?
That's a big question.
Very, very big question.
Okay, let me assume that you've kissed your mom.
Yeah.
You've kissed your younger ones,
Yeah.
right? Is it the kind of question is it the kind of kissing?
No,
Which
you
I'm
know
not
that
really.
You know that kissing.
Wow, the
On
kissing,
that way,
kissing.
yeah.
I don't understand. You have to make me understand. Are you talking about
The long one of people.
With the opposite sex.
Okay, with the opposite sex.
Yes.
All right. So the question is that is kissing
Advisable for young teenagers.
why would you not be kissing? Why do you not want to kiss?
No, then they not take it as a normal thing.
Okay, maybe for the Hamatan cold, you just want
to
to
keep
kiss
their
them.
lips.
Okay, before the Hamatan,
Yes.
is it advisable?
To be kissing.
Yes.
Why would you be kissing? When a young person kisses, then it means that you are ready to have sex. Why would you be kissing? A lot of emotions goes into kissing. And that is the reason why we want our parents to begin to talk to our young people about this sex education. They should learn it from their parents. Because you could just say, it's harmless kiss, let me just kiss, let me just kiss. It is from clapping to dancing.
Exactly.
And so today you kiss, tomorrow you hug, the other day it is chest to chest.
Okay.
And before you know what's happening, come to my house.
Okay.
And before you know what's happening, you fall on the bed.
Okay.
And before you know what's happening, it's a close shot. And so that is the reason why we tell people this kissing thing and this body contact thing, you should eliminate it from your life. It is a no to kissing. There is no need, because it's from kissing you will now enter into something else. And so it's a no. If you want to explore bodies, just wait till you're married. You can do all that with your spouse.
Where is it that most young ladies are getting raped?
Men do get raped too, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But it's rare.
It's very rare, like
Very, very
20.
Yes, and that's the same thing we're still talking about. Parents should be able to give their children the adequate orientation about sex. They should be able to teach them. Because when they are not well taught, many of them want to explore all kinds of things, and it becomes damaging. Do you see? So, and you see, most young people, they get, they wear all kinds of things, all kinds of funny things. Just wear all kinds of funny things, going around the places, and
Yes,
you don't know
dress
this.
sense.
Do you
Yeah,
understand?
their
So,
dress sense.
dress sense is also another key. Do you understand? So, stay away from an environment that promotes all lewdness, promote all kinds of lewdness, and just be responsible. Decent.
Why do they get so addicted to pornography? Especially teenagers.
The young people.
So addicted.
They've never seen the nakedness of the opposite sex, but they started watching pornography.
Yes, our parents still have a huge role to play. Because our parents should be able to give our young people this orientation. You should be able to talk to your young people. Do you understand? Because you see all kinds of young person having all kinds of phones, you see the Android phones and everything, you're in a better position to give them orientation. You should teach them what to do. So I think the onus falls on our parents. So our parents should be able to give them enough orientation. Do you understand? So that's it.
So I think now that our parents is always at fault.
No, parents are not at fault, but they have a huge role to play. Yes, a very, very huge role to play. And so that's the reason why you see we keep passing the ball to our parents, passing the ball to our parents. But young people, you can begin to develop a skill. You can learn a skill. Handwork, you can learn. Go to church, listen to the word of God. You understand? Build healthy relationships. Stay away from the, bad associations. And you are good to go.
How dangerous can it be?
It can be very, very dangerous because it destroys you emotionally, psychologically, and otherwise. It begins to create all kinds of lewd thoughts in you. Before you know what's happening, you're doing very crazy things. Because a lot of people do not understand that that's a movie. It's a movie, it's not real. It's make-believe. And so it's very destructive. Very, very destructive.
It can be prevented, right?
Yes, it can be prevented. And it still falls on our parents to give our children, our young people, a substitute. Give them games. Introduce them to God. Take them to church. Introduce them to suitable mentors that can teach them the ways of life. You understand? Answer their questions. Talk to them. Be their best friend. Let them be able to ask you questions. And that's what I think. And so with that, we can discourage them and tell them about the evils of this thing. You know, tell them the reasons why they should not get themselves involved in it. And just help them to know God.
So what advice would you give to people, especially singles,
one of the things that I tell singles, yes, especially those that have experienced rape, you know, that's not the end of the world. Life goes on. So one of the things I'd like to tell them, life goes on. There is more ahead of you. So don't think because you've been raped that you are different from every other decent girl. You're still a decent girl. We are going to take it right now that it's not your fault. So it is life after this time. There is greatness ahead of you. God loves you. He cares about you. He doesn't feel because you've been raped that you are now less than every other person. You are a daughter of greatness. So you have to just move on with your life and put those things behind you. There is greatness ahead of you. And that's what I actually think.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Councilor.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to our first episode of Registered Single.
Thank you so much for having me. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you for so much. I hope you've learned what to inform every question.
But why don't you ask the counselor? But why don't you ask the counselor? Oh, counselor, yeah. But why don't you ask the counselor?